Welcome to episode number 24 of Listen in 3D. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool.
And I'm Netta, aka Wondrous Net.
And together we are Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. You want to help us out? Do us a favor, like this video if you're watching. That really helps us out a lot. Be sure to give us a comment, share it around any social media platform of your choosing, and definitely subscribe. If you would like to help us out, go one step further and just hit that notification bell. That way you get access to when our videos go live. We typically like to go live, well, not live, but put out episodes on Wednesdays with a few bonus episodes on Saturday here or there, and maybe within the next few weeks we'll probably put out an episode on Saturday. So who knows? But because we do have a lot of unpublished episodes right now, so that really just helps us out a ton. If you want to just go even just one step further than that, just when you're on the channel, watch some shorts. We have a lot of shorts. We got more coming. We value your time, so if you could just help us out with that, that would just really help us a lot. And if you have any questions about what we do, email us listenin3d@gmail.com. We see you guys. We're over 20 subs now, so we're doing pretty good on the YouTube channel here. So that makes me happy that people are actually watching our content. So yeah. So I'm definitely good about that. So uh, with all that out of the way, Netta, how you been? How you doing?
Oh, I can't complain. How about you?
I'm doing good. The rain stopped here in Southern California, so we have a little bit of sunshine, and yeah, just staying dry. I am liking this cold weather though, so hopefully it keeps up for as long as it can. I don't know how it is out south, but um,
It's been pretty clear out here. You after right after our last episode, you had an earthquake. You haven't had any more since then.
no, I have not. Yeah, I mean, actually, I think there was one in like the Malibu area, not well, it's actually kind of far from where I live. So yeah, I think there was one in the LA area, but nothing I felt, nothing in the Inland Empire part of Southern California anyway that I can say that I've felt. But like I said, I've been through so many earthquakes. It's like it was a 3.5 today. Like yeah, I didn't feel it. Yeah, I'll sleep for it. Yeah, they didn't wake me up. So it has to be like the shake, like the big one, like a 7 point something for it to wake me up. And you know what they say, the big one is coming. I mean, uh, you know, you never know.
That's crazy. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, definitely. So, anyway, so we got we have a pretty good album for you guys today. One that kind of put the blueprint on a certain sound, preferably in West Coast hip hop. I think this album does get overlooked a lot, but we're gonna get into it. Netta, what group and album are we discussing today?
So today we'll be discussing Above the Law's second studio album, Black Mafia Life. It was released February 2nd, 1993. It peaked at 6 in the R&B hip hop album charts and 37 in the Billboard charts. It had singles including VSOP and Call It What You Want, both of which had music videos, and it had guest appearances by Cocaine, Easy E, Tupac, Money B, and MC Ren.
All right, thank you for doing that. So, Above the Law, a little bit of history about them. They hail from Pomona, California, consisting of four members originally. Cold on 187, who's also known as Big Hutch, by the way, but KMG, the illustrator, man, rest in peace, he's no longer with us. Those were the two MCs, and then they had two DJs, Go Mac and DJ Total Chaos. Go Mac would leave the group after this album released. Um, if you're looking for more discography from Ruthless Records outside of NWA, Eazy-E, and even later on Bone Thugs and Harmony. Above the Law had quite the discography, the catalog, so definitely check them out. Living Like Hustlers was another popular one from 1990, and then after this one, Uncle Sam's Curse, which came out in '94, which has the famous single that we've all heard at one point or another, Black Superman. Um, they're from Pomona, California, which is on the outskirts of LA County, going into the Inland Empire. If you're from Southern California, you probably know what I'm talking about. Um, and aside from that, these guys are pretty much the ones that invented the G Funk sound. And there was an article where Coda 187 talked about it. I can link it in the description if y'all are interested in checking that out. Let's see. So, and then, aside from that, just, yeah, they put the blueprint behind it. Maybe they didn't popularize it like Dr. Dre and Warren G did, and actually, to date, this album did come out after Dr. Dre's The Chronic. So, um, Dr. Dre is a great producer, but you can kind of tell that if you do your history, he took a thing or two from other producers that were around. So, you, so definitely, I mean, I definitely do want to give this group their flowers, and this is, I believe, their best-selling album to date, and it recently just came back on streaming services. So I was real excited. It wasn't on streaming services for the longest time. So once I found out it came out, I was like, oh yes, we got to do this album. But we will be doing more G Funk albums as this show goes on. G Funk is my favorite subgenre of hip hop. So I mean, so I was very excited to do this. So we should have a good time with it. Anyway, let's see.
So what makes the sound G funk as opposed to just like any hip hop beat? Is there something specific?
Mainly sampling, like you sample like an old song, say like something like from Parliament, and then you just like loop it, give it a nice twist, give it like a nice funky sound, and the G, gangsta funk, ghetto funk. I mean, what like one of the songs said, "Call it what you want, just don't forget the G," right? Just, but I mean, and you'll see. I mean, it's more just like a laid back sound. Just I mean, preferably on the West Coast. Go around with a low rider, just pop a nice beat. Warren G rapping to it, Nate Dogg rapping to it. These guys above the law rapping to it. Anyway, so were you familiar with this group? Have you heard of them or familiar with them at all?
No, I had never heard of them in my life actually.
All right, yeah, all right, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. All right, so they have four. So let's see. Um, let's go to the outline here. All right, so let's talk about just did you have any pre-listening thoughts going into this album, or did you know what to expect, or no
No,
expectation?
not really. I felt pretty in the dark about it, and the album cover didn't help.
Oh, oh yeah, we'll get to the album cover in a sec, but for the most part, I know for me, I mean, I've listened to them before, and then just this album in particular, I remember I was in a Barnes and Noble one day. I was going through like a bunch of hip hop albums, and this came up, and then one of the songs that we'll get into little later on, just I was just amazed. Like this sounds just so good, and just like eventually I got the album, and then actually have the vinyl right here too that I recently got. I know it's a little, yeah. So
So did you discover it when it was new or when it was a few years old already?
it was old already because I was only 7, 8 years old in '93. So yeah, just like I said, Barnes and Noble. I think I was, yeah, I had to be like maybe early college years, I want to say. So yeah, I think it was maybe about
Okay.
10 years old when I discovered it.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I want to say early college years. Yeah, just I like discovering old good music, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, so that's how I discovered them, and just the rest is history in terms of putting them on my playlist and everything. So, let's get into the album artwork. I know it's not much to look at, but anything in particular you want to call out or anything like that?
I guess I was looking to it because I'm like I want to see like is there something I can gather from this about these guys? But it's really not that much I could gather. Beside, it kind of did go along with the theme of the album because they kept using like spooky, scary voices and stuff, and the album kind of gives like spooky, scary, and then you got the little logo of the disguised man with a gun. Uh,
Mm.
I didn't really know what to make of it. What did you think about it?
Well, the little disguised man with the gun kind of reminds me of I don't know if you ever see those like neighborhood watch posters like in a neighborhood or something. I'm not sure if they have that out where you live, but if you could Google it, I mean, I can probably send you a photo later of what it reminded me of. So it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. The only thing is those signs typically don't have a guy carrying a gun like that, but I think you'll see what I'm talking about if I do send you one. And then, definitely like the thunder, the lightning. I mean, it does give you the feel that it's going to be kind of a dark album. And, and some of the songs were, like some of the songs had intros within intros, just like it gave you that uh dark spooky feel, and that's 93, 94. That's what a lot of rappers were going for at the time, at least on the West Coast. So um but yeah, just yeah, it gives you a feel that it's going to be a dark album. And before we move on, I do want to say I do appreciate album artwork that does not feature the artist. How do you feel about that?
Um, I like it, especially if it's like somehow reflective of the artwork itself. I think it takes a lot of guts to do that. Number one, because a lot of the artists, they kind of want to be recognized in a way. So taking your face off of it and putting some kind of emblem or symbol, it's kind of brave in a way. But I like that people can take some abstract work of art and connect it to their own music.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I know several episodes back, the BC Boys with the 737 Jet, and then Cypress Hill. Those are a few of the album artworks I can think of that didn't have the group on the cover. So I mean, later on down the line, we'll be doing more of that, and actually too. One more thing I did forget to mention. I was going through the guest appearances, and two famous names on here are Easy E and Tupac. Now I know Bone Thugs and Harmony gets credit for doing music with the both of them and the Notorious B.I.G. But I don't think this group. I don't think a lot of people really noticed that Tupac and Easy E were on this album together. Two big names in hip hop. So if you can find another record with the both of them that wasn't with Bone Thugs and Harmony, just let us know in the comments. I'm just a little curious because I mean Tupac and Easy. I mean I know they didn't do music with Biggie, but I mean I think that's kind of like, oh wow, they had some big names on here. So I didn't want to call that out.
It is pretty impressive, especially for that early '90s time period to have both of them,
Yeah, I mean
especially retrospectively.
yeah. Retrospectively, definitely. And then, I mean, they weren't on the same song, but they have them on the same record. I think that's amazing within itself. All right, so yeah, I just had to call that out before we move on. All right, so let's go to probably the best part of this album, which is the beats, and there are a lot of good ones. I mean, you can't. I can't complain here. I mean, I actually have a few honorable mentions. We'll start with you. What beats did you like?
Yeah, I agree that for me, the what shined on this album were the beats. The I liked never missing a beat.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that was a really good
uh,
one. Despite the
Yeah, it
long
was like
intro,
this.
I mean, it was great beat.
Yeah, it was like the second track on the album, and the first track was like super creepy. But this one, it was like kind of creepy at the beginning, but then it
Mhm.
turned into something more laid back and like feel good. I
Yeah,
liked Pimpology. That one was very laid back. I like G's and Macaronis. That one was like groovy, and I liked Call It What You Want.
call it what you want.
That
Yeah.
one,
Hmm.
yeah, that one was more like active and complex, and I liked the outro even, which was I feel
Yeah.
like you could just close your eyes and calm your nerves to that.
Yeah, yeah. The outro definitely a top five beat, and it wasn't even a song. So, I know for me, yeah, definitely never missing a beat was a good one. That's probably in my top five beats there. I think VSOP, which we'll talk about in a minute, was also a great beat. But also, one of the beats that I really liked too, that was just like real funky in my opinion, had to be G Rupee's Best Friend. Um, no, I can care. I don't really care too much for the content on the song. It wasn't one of my favorite songs, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But that beat though, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it was just that was a pretty good one. I like that one a lot. So I mean, it was very well produced album, and definitely. I think of all the albums we've done so far, I mean, I would have to put it in at least in the top 10 of best production. So I mean, by far.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. It was the first one. Like usually when we're listening to these albums, I might have to go back and listen to like little clips again to see which beat I liked.
Hmm.
But here on the first listen, I was like, oh no, I like this one. I like this one. I like this one because it kind of jumped out at
Hmm.
me. So the beats were good for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I mean, definitely, probably the biggest highlight from the album was the production and the beats.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, let's get into the singles. There are only two of them, so I guess we can start with "Call It What You Want," which featured Tupac and Money B from Digital Underground. Any thoughts on this song? Anything ring out to you?
Besides the beat, which I
Hmm.
which I really liked. Of course, I liked that Tupac was on on the song. His verse honestly wasn't really that impressive to me, but I just
Mm-mm.
liked seeing him because I never heard him in this song. But he says he clowns with when he's with the underground, but when he's with the mafia, he's dropping you. So I guess these guys bring out another side of him. So I guess that's cool. And I think he says I'm bumping G Funk, but you can call it what you want, as
Yep.
like a shout out to this sound. So I thought that was
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
uh, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Definitely. I mean, I think Cold on 187 and KMG. I mean, I liked how they flowed the third verse together. Toward the end of the song. But I mean, I don't think it was Tupac's best work. But I think he did. Still the show with "I'm bumping G Funk," but call it what you want. That had to be like my favorite rhyme on that whole song there. So I mean,
That is true.
I think he stole the show. I mean, he outshined Money B, and unfortunately, he did outshine Above the Law too. I really hate to call it out like that, but I mean, but I'm sure you've seen it before. A feature artist, just stealing the show on someone else's song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, it wasn't even his best work, and Tupac, he's a legend, so it's yeah, for him to
Yeah.
steal the show on this song, which isn't even his best work, I think.
I think he just has a sort of a presence like that where
Hmm.
it's hard not to, even though I didn't find his verse to be particularly interesting, considering all of his other work,
Yeah.
but he just shines.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree, and yeah, he just he just stole the show. He really shined in this song here, at least on this album. But I mean, I mean, this once again, like when we get into our top three, this wasn't in my top three of songs. So I mean, yeah, just I mean, it's a good song. I mean, for listen. So if you are a Tupac fan out there, definitely give it a listen. I mean, I thought he did pretty well in it, and it's all right song. So and then oh, before we go to the next one, did you anything in particular about the music video you liked?
Um, I just liked seeing Tupac. They were like in some kind of warehouse basement
Hmm.
rapping or something. Like
Okay.
the guy with the sunglasses seemed like
Oh, that's
everybody else was kind of like hype and dancing around, and he was
oh
just like
oh yeah, the bald
sitting
guy.
there like,
Oh, the bald guy with the
yeah.
song. That's Cold on 187. That's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
thought that
he
was kind of funny.
yeah he was kind of the heart and soul of this group in my opinion. You know he made a lot happen. He was the one that got because I guess his parents worked in the music business. His dad I think was a singer in some group, so he was the one that kind of came up with the G Funk sound. So yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
think he's really like the heart and soul. And then for me with the music video, I don't know if you noticed, but Easy and MC Ren made cameo appearances.
I
Oh,
didn't even notice that.
yeah, so yeah, watch it again if you get a chance. Yeah, you'll see them. It was kind of a quick cameo, but you know they had a cameo to say the least. Uh, all right, the other one, VSOP. The if anything, I think the single was a lot better than the first one we just talked about. So a personal question: do you ever drink some of that VSOP, or have you?
I don't think I've ever had it, but I'm not familiar enough with alcohol to even know. Honestly, is that cognac?
Yeah, I believe it's a type of cognac or something. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not a uh, hard liquor drinker myself, but you know, I mean, I can.
Is it a brand or a type of alcohol?
It's a, I think it's a brand. It's a type of alcohol. It's a yeah, it's a cognac, Hennessy. Yeah,
Oh well, yeah. If it's talking about Hennessy, I've definitely had it.
maybe not that kind, but you know, yeah, I had to kind of Google it for a minute. I'm more of a beer drinker when it comes to alcohol. But any thoughts on this song?
I thought it was kind of familiar. The beat was kind of familiar. Couldn't really put my finger on where I heard it before, but the beat felt kind of familiar. I liked how they were going back and forth, like handing it off to each other. I thought that was cool, and I liked how he said to G or not to G, that which is the answer. Like playing off of Shakespeare's "To Be or Not to Be." I thought that was cool. Um, well, what did you think of it?
It sampled the what's the name of that song? Cutie Pie. Yeah, it sampled that song. I think Rick James may have sung it. It's,
Okay.
yeah, let me. I'm going through the list here. VSOP was track 10. Hold on. Yeah, I think it sampled. It had like a whole bunch of other samples. Hall and Oates, I think was another sample. Backstroking by the Fatback Band. Yeah, Cutie Pie by not Rick James. One Way. Yeah, Cutie. That was like the main one they used. That's one of the ones I could tell. So yeah, One Way, Cutie Pie. That was the sample. So not Rick James people. Sorry about that. But yeah, for me, definitely one of the better beats on this album. I think it had a better beat than Call It What You Want. Um, lyrically, just I liked how they flow together and like the first throughout all three verses for the most part. To G or not to G, which is the answer out of control. Then your soul. Yeah, they're screaming on a big hit and trying to find a quick pick, looking for real shit. Yeah, so and the video I thought was a little humorous also. A lot of nice women in that video.
Yeah, I liked the there was one scene where like two of them are like standing there, like very close to the camera, rapping, and then
Hmm.
in the background, like the woman is dancing hard as hell. So that was pretty funny, and I like they had an interesting use of colors in that video. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it was black and white, sometimes it was colored, sometimes it was a mixture of black and white and color. So
At least they didn't
that
go
was
all black
interesting.
and white in that video.
Yeah, they added some color for you.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's. I mean, I mean, I don't mind it if it's like if they do like black and white here and there, like and then like color here or there. But it's like the all black and white videos, especially like going into like the mid '90s. It's just like, bro, hip hop's been around like 10 years already. Why are you still doing this black and white shit? And I'm sure we'll find some more later on down the line where it's just like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
Yeah, it's weird how like eventually some of the aesthetics that were like on accident or just incidental back in the day, like black and white was just incidental. They weren't like going for something. That's just all they could do.
yeah,
And now, people use those filters like those VHS filters. Like
yeah,
and back in the day it's just like, well, that's what we had, but now it's like it's an aesthetic. So it's very interesting.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but the video was good though. Great song. Definitely, I see why it was a single. Definitely one of the best songs on the album. Speaking of best songs, let's get into our top three. If you're ready for that, what do you got?
So I had VSOP, Me versus My Ego, and Game Wreck on is game.
All right, okay. Game Wreck on is game. Okay. Um, I had that one as an honorable mention. The top three I had one we did have in common. VSOP. That probably was the best song. Pimp Clinic and Never Missing a Beat were my top three favorite songs. The other honorable mention I had was Harda You Are, the Dappa You Fall. I kind of like that song too. I thought it was kind of an interesting song, but yeah. So we already talked to VSOP. What was yours again?
Me versus My Ego and Game Wreck on is
All
game,
right.
whatever that means.
So what'd you like about? So let's start with Me versus My Ego. What'd you like about that one?
I like how he's just describing him. He's trying to describe himself as separate from his ego in a lot of the song, or I guess both of them are. And then at the end, he kind of makes a joke about it. He's like, uh, "Next time you have to rip shit up, just blame it on your motherfucking ego. It's
Mm,
easier that way." So in the beginning, he's like, why is my ego like this? He likes to do all these crazy things, and I'm just this nice, quiet guy. And at the end, he's like, it's like tongue in cheek, like it's really all me. So I enjoyed that. What what did you think about that song?
I thought it was a good song for the most part. I didn't really get anything lyrically out of it. I just just another song that's going through. I would probably have to give it another listen just to see what you got out of it. Just just really try to see see if I really liked it or not. Maybe it'd be worth going to my playlist. But I mean, all right song, but definitely not like I don't even think I had it in my like top five. Well, obviously I didn't, but yeah, I thought it was just an average song at best. And then the other song, Game Wreck on is game. I don't know what that's like the longest song title I've ever. It's a good song though. It's a good song. What'd you like about this one? I'm actually a little surprised you like this one. I'm actually
Yeah, I liked really Cocaine's verse. I
okay.
really liked his verse. I liked his varied voices.
Hmm.
He kind of flowed seamlessly between like Jamaican batty boy and newscaster man voice, and I really liked that. And I liked when he said saying what Gene. He's talking about the pastor, and he's saying what King James wrote, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you the Holy Ghost for a motherfucking C note. So I thought that was funny. It's really, really cocaine. That's really why I like this song.
Okay,
What did
so
you like about it?
it was an honorable mention. I've listened to the song a lot of times, but after listening to the whole album again, I just couldn't put it in my top three. But the Easy E verse, batter up and let me hit you with some crazy ass shit. Welcome to the E's bottomless pit. I thought that verse went hard. I don't know if anyone wrote it for him, but I thought that part went hard. And then cocaine. He did pretty good on the second verse as well. Dibbity dot sound boy, dibbity dot sound boy, ready to catch you. Yeah. So I mean, I thought that was yeah, he was good. I thought so. You're familiar with so you know who cocaine is, right?
I don't know him actually.
Okay, okay. I think
Yeah.
if you really liked him on this song, then you should check out some of his work. He actually did some work with Snoop later on down the line. So yeah, definitely check him out. We probably could do some of Cocaine's work on this show a little later on when we ever get a chance. But yeah, he's very popular among the hip hop scene. So, and he was a close associate of Above the Law. So, but yeah, yeah, it was a good song though. I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part. It's in my playlist. All right, so my other two songs, Never Missing a Beat. This was the song that kind of got me hooked to Above the Law. After when I was in the Barnes and Noble, like I was telling you earlier, I was listening to it, and then it was just like, how they only give like 30-second clips of like a certain song back then. Like if you're going through like Amazon or whatever music site yeah. So I was just like, I just wanted to hear more of it. It's just like, wow, yeah, dude, this sounds really good. Like I was just like amazed, just like when I first heard the song. And lyrically, I really think Cold on 187 just kills it on this song. Just with that first verse, something new for you, Black Mafia life. People want to know why I'm the coldest. First thing, remember I'm the motherfucking genius. Yeah. So I mean, it was a good song. Wish KMG had rapped on it a little bit more, but for the most part, it's a great song to definitely ride out to. And I mean, you can't really be mad at it. And if they did have a third single, I think this probably would have been one of the contenders. If you ask me, I don't know. What were your thoughts on this song? I know you like the
Yeah, I
beat.
think if yeah, I like the beat. I think if this is one of the songs that you were like going through Barnes and Noble and thinking, "Oh, I want to hear more." I mean, that's good because the song was like 7 minutes long, so
Yeah,
you could listen to that one all day.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I I really did enjoy the beat mostly. Let's see. I guess I like the part where he said, "I deal with it now. Fuck talking later." Um, I I like that kind of thing for some reason. I don't know. Um, I'm not bragging just about the lagging. You don't want to fuck with me.
yeah,
But it was good, especially from that. Honestly, the intro because this that one came straight after the intro. The intro was the first song I've ever listened to that actually made me feel like scared or something. Like I was like, oh my god, this intro has me in a very dark place. But the number two, it kind of pulled me out of it. I mean, it was still a little dark, but it was like happy dark.
yeah.
So I was
I hear what you're
glad to hear
saying.
that song.
Yeah, the only thing to make the song better is if they just got rid of the long intro. I think that could have been like a track on itself by itself, personally. But I mean, yeah, just like I said, sometimes some artists had the tendency to make really long songs back then, and just I mean, the attention span these days, it's like you're lucky if you get a 2-minute song from this artist here. So it's like, if anything, I think a typical good hip hop song is anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. That's just me. I think anything
Yeah,
less than that isn't it's okay, but I think it could be a little longer than 3 minutes. Um,
yeah,
and then the last song, Pimp Clinic, also had a long intro, which could have been a song by itself. But one of the things I really liked about Pimp Clinic was the different beat changes. you hear a little bit of that "Let Me Ride." You hear a little bit, that dun 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 dun, and then it just goes to like the different beat with the chorus. I thought that was pretty cool for the most part. It would have been. I couldn't put it as my favorite beat because it's just too many beat changes. So, but it still sounded good though. But uh,
Yeah, I think it sounded familiar to me because of that the Let Me Ride
yeah,
thing and the whole pimp clinic. They talk about having a pimp clinic throughout the whole entire album.
yeah. The album felt like a pimp clinic, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then also cocaine, sings on this one as well. So yeah, he was on several songs on this album. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, but for the most part, good song. And then I like the KMG in the third verse. He said one thing, and let's see, just a gang of bald heads, low riding, providing the funk for you. Push up, all batches got Dusha for for that they get the ATL hookup or something like that. So yeah, I, mean, I like that part, but you know, but great song for the most part, and just it's it's a song I like to bump for the most part, and I do have it on vinyl, so I actually might, well, maybe not tonight, but I might play it maybe sometime this weekend if I have the house to myself.
Are you going to take it out of that vinyl and put it on the record player or
Yeah,
just play it?
I already have. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a video of me doing it. And I got some more vinyl, so any more albums that we go through that we do, if I have the vinyl, I'll start displaying it. Or if I have it on CD, I'll display it too, if I remember, of course. um, all right, so did that. Any song on here that you didn't like that you could do without, or just didn't care for too much?
I normally like songs that provoke me in some way, even if it's negatively, but Black Triangle, it made me feel very scared. It was
Uh,
nighttime when I was listening to it, and I was like, I should listen to this during the day. So I would get rid of Black Triangle because it creeped me out.
um, yeah, it was. I mean, it would probably be one of the low points of the album for me. Wasn't the biggest fan of Pimpology 101. And I know, like we just talked about before, the whole album felt like a pimp clinic. I thought Pimpology 101, I think, was a little too much. Good song, but I mean, just not, definitely not going back to me on the playlist. All right. So there were no cuts and expansions, so everything you see here is what you get from this group, at least none that I know of. If you find anything out there that may have been a cut from this album, please let us know. Um, Also, get into some recommendations here. So we'll highlight some of the other Ruthless artists that were on this album. Cocaine. He had an album that came out the next year, '94, Funk Upon a Rhyme. We might do that at some point on this show. MC Ren had Shock of the Hour, another album that we'll probably explore later on down the line. And then there's an EP by Easy E. It's on Dr. Dre, 187 Killer. It had the famous single on there, Real Compton City G's, where he responds to Dr. Dre's Dre Day. So, um, and I think Codum 187 actually helped with some of the production on that EP as well. So definitely give that a listen. All right, so put this episode in the books. Any final thoughts? Any tracks you're taking back to your playlist? Anything last you'd like to say about Above the Laws of Black Mafia Life?
I'll probably listen to actually the outro
Okay.
again because I just really like the outro. You know, it felt like it could calm my nerves if I'm feeling anxious. I really enjoyed the outro. Something I could just close my eyes and listen to. The beats were really good. I liked a lot of the beats. The content for me, I was just like, what the heck? I can't relate to these guys at all.
So in the same category as the Beastie Boys, just not can't take any of these songs back to your playlist.
Yeah, just the outro I can. The rest of the stuff, I'll leave it here, and I'm glad I listened to it, but I'll leave it right here.
Well, with that song you like, "Me Versus My Ego," um, I'm definitely want to give that one another listen, see what you liked about it. Because any song that you say that it's just like I don't think you'll say, it just always gets me interested. So I got to give that one another listen. And then obviously, the top three, never missing a beat, VSOP, Pimp Clinic, definitely those are going back to my playlist. And then definitely Game Wreck on his game. That's already on my playlist. It's a good song, but again, I just couldn't put it in my top three. And uh, th- like I said, wasn't my favorite song, but G Rupee's Best Friend. That's just a good beat. Too bad they didn't make a. If maybe I don't know. Too bad they didn't make an instrumental album because I think a lot of people would probably buy it. But
Yeah, I think so. The beat. I can't. That's one thing I can't take away from them. The beats were really good.
all right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed definitely the music, not so much the content, but this will do it for episode number 24 of Listen in 3D. For Netta, aka Wondrous Net, I'm Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you on the next one. Later.